On Tuesday, Senator Bernie Sanders announced his candidacy for president in 2020, looking to build on the tremendous support that he garnered in 2016 when he was running for president. So there have been many early projections about who may be the strongest candidate for 2020, the strongest Democratic candidate, of course. But let's just be real about it, okay? Let's just be real about it. Bernie Sanders is the front runner. And just for a little bit of context about why that, I guess, why that could be the case, like evidence that suggests that he could be the front runner, well, why don't we look at fundraising? We can look at fundraising, right? So in the 24 hours since Bernie Sanders made that announcement, 24 hours later, Bernie Sanders, his campaign raised just under $6 million. Just under $6 million. I think it was about just over $5.9 million. And shortly after that period, they did eclipse the $6 million. And all in all, it was from 225, or I think it was actually over 225,000 different individuals. So, and you'll never guess what the average contribution was, too. You'll never guess what it was.
How many guesses do I get?
I'm only giving you one, man. We got a clock, man. You know, I'm gonna give you one, man.
Is there a 2 in there?
There's a 2. There's a 2.
So, 2 digits?
It's 2 digits. It's 2 digits. Yeah.
27?
I don't know how you do it sometimes.
Okay.
I don't know how you do it sometimes.
It's my clairvoyance.
$27, which very familiar to 2016, which the average contribution back then was $27 too. So this is it was a whirlwind. You know, I mean, this is definitely notable because I believe it was back in 2016. He didn't come anywhere near the amount he raised in 24 hours this go around.
Oh, okay. So what is that telling you?
It seems like, like I said, the momentum he built in 2016, it's still here, and it's even more so.
Again, we're still fairly young.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to just look at our experience within, the U.S. politics,
right.
I don't recall ever observing anything like that before. For someone who lost.
No.
You see what I'm saying? For someone who lost.
That's true. And again, and we said this on the last show, in comparison to somebody like Kamala Harris's campaign, who in 24 hours after her announcement, she raised $1.5 million. About $6 million is, I mean, that's absurd. That's crazy. And this, again, just goes to show you that you don't need corporate PACs to raise money to fund the campaign. You don't need it.
Message to Howard Dean.
Message to Howard Dean.
Right. But what do you think kind of keeps his popularity up, especially between election cycles?
Well, because he's still vocal. I mean, he's still vocal. He's still making noise. Medicare for All. We've talked about how he has targeted Amazon and Disney to do something about the wages there.
I was about to say, minimum wage. Yeah.
Green New Deal he's talked about. He's talked about mass incarceration.
Climate change.
Yeah, our involvement in the Yemen war. I mean, he's still vocal. He still has a significant presence.
So pretty much, he is almost, I don't know, it's almost you could say he's on like a continuous campaign.
Right. So we spoke on the last show, too, about CNN and how CNN had dealt with the news of Bernie Sanders' announcement. And it was with some shade. It was definitely with some shade. So we were wondering how they were going to treat the news of his massive haul, the $6 million in 24 hours. How are they going to treat that? How are they going to react to it? Like with frown faces and stuff like that? We don't know. It's CNN. We don't know.
You never know. Because it's hard to spin this.
Making it rain, Senator Sanders is. That's the last time I'll ever say that. So this time around in 2020, he's raised $5.9 million in his first 24 hours. That's much better than he did in his first 24 hours in 2016 when he raised only $1.5 million.
Wow, look at that. That is really significant.
Turns out love is better the second time around. And not only that, but let's compare it To some other candidates that are running this time around, Kamala Harris came in with only 1.5 million in her first 24, so he's clearly doing better than that. Senator Klobuchar, she said that she came in 1 million over her first 48, clearly better than that, and clearly better than Julian Castro, according to an FEC report. His presidential committee raised 220,000 in the first 2 weeks.
I'm glad that you brought up according to, because the Bernie Sanders numbers are according to the Bernie Sanders campaign.
That's correct.
Is that reliable?
I would say so. I mean, we're going to find out. Why would you lie?
Well, we don't find out for a while. We don't get the actual numbers from FEC
We don't, but
for a month or so.
traditionally these numbers are quite reliable, but we still should note where exactly it's coming from.
It was some low-key shade.
It was definitely some low-key shade. Yeah. She was trying to, like, kind of, I guess, bring up questions as to the dollar amount and whether it's valid or not, and whether it's legitimate.
Yeah. But because this is from the Bernie Sanders campaign, so we don't know.
But didn't those other campaigns report the amount that they raised too?
Right.
The reporting came from Kamala Harris's campaign, the amount that she raised. Same thing with Klobuchar.
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Julian
Castro.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
No. And it would be so dumb. I mean, it would be like the work of somebody that does not know how to run a campaign whatsoever to actually report fake numbers. Because again, like she pointed out, we're going to get that information at some point. If they don't match up, what do you think that's going to do to your campaign? It's not going to be a good look whatsoever. So just like the guy that was pointing out all this information, revealing all this information, was like, well, yeah, these numbers tend to be very accurate. But she couldn't help it. She couldn't.